This Getting Started Android Development Series. My name is Gary. I'm going to carry on with the data members database Java class. All I'm going to focus on is in this tutorial is actually completing the DB helper, the database helper class here, and I'm going to create two new methods really to open the database and close the database, and that should be enough for this tutorial. Okay, so what I want to do is start by completing this onCreate method here. We need to write some SQL here to arrange the database in the way we want it, with the table headings in the order that we need them. So if you've not done any SQL before, it's probably worth taking some time just to look out there on the internet, really, just to get some idea of what it's all about. But for my own guys, you're just going to have to follow on and just copy what I'm typing here, really. It needs to be typed accurately here. So in terms of executing the SQL, we call this method db.execSQL, and in here we need to include a string. So the first thing we need to do is create a table, and we put a space in there with those quotations. Now we're going to just concatenate the database table variable in there, and another plus sign, and open some more quotations. Now we need to type a space and then open brackets. Okay, what we'll do, just get that closed bracket down there for the moment. Okay, so what we need to type now is another space and plus, it'd be key, the row ID, and then what we can do is start a new line just to keep it all nice and neat. So we're going to create a table, and the key, the primary key here is going to be the row ID. That's what we're going to, the primary key means the entity we're going to reference, really, to when we're trying to access the rows in our database. So what we need to type now is another plus sign, and open some more quotations, and there'll be a space and integer, and it'd be primary key, and it'd be auto increment. So make sure that's all spelt correctly. So what we're going to do, we're going to, as we add records to the database, we're going to increment the row ID automatically, and it's that row ID which we're going to use to access the database information that we're interested in. So integer key row ID, so we need to have a space in there, sorry, no, we need to have a comma in there, and then a space and close quotations, and then we need to have another plus sign, and it'd be work on the key name now. Okay, key name, put another line in, it'd be plus, and open small quotations with space, it'd be text, and it'd be not null. Okay, so the name is text, which is, I guess, the equivalent of a string. We work in string in Androids. It could be integers or booleans we're working with, but for the most part this information is text. So another comma and a space, and just another plus sign, and it'd be key, and we need to work with the status now, key status, and it'll be plus, and what we need now is more quotations, the last lot, space, text, not null, and then we just need to close that bracket off, put a comma in, and essentially that's what we've finished the text there, so the SQL statement. So I'll just bring that bracket up there. So it's just worth just double checking that to make sure that's actually formatted and spelt correctly. Okay, so now let's just focus on this upgrade method. So there's two things we need to type here. First of all, let's execute some SQL. So it's db set SQL, and what we need to do is just open another set of quotations, and we'll type drop table if, and it'd be exists, and then it'll be a space, and then we need a plus sign, and database table we need to reference. Okay, and one more thing we need to type is then on create, and it'll be db. So let's just format that. So what's actually going on here is if the database doesn't exist, the helper's going to call the onCreate method and create the database for us. If it does exist, then we're going to upgrade the database. Dropping the table is I guess a form of deletion, in which case then we'll recreate a new database with the existing information. So then we'll call onCreate again after dropping the old database. So really from setting it up, that's all we need to do. The other thing I want to do in this tutorial is set up two methods really to open the database, and then another one to close the database. So if we type public, and we'll call this members database, and we'll just type open here. Okay, and what we're going to do also is throw an SQL exception. Whenever we're doing any file handling, it's useful to need to surround things with tries and catches, or we can throw an exception here just to stop the app crashing. So we'll call an SQL exception there, and then we can get on with typing out the method. So what we need to do is database helper equals new db helper, and we need to pass a context. Okay, and it'll be just context, which is what we defined earlier. So now we can open up the database. So the members database equals new database helper, and it'll be get writable database. Okay, good. So a database could be readable or writable. Generally speaking, it's going to be writable as well. We've got an error here because we do need to return something. So we can just get rid of that error just by typing return this. Okay, and that's really what we need to do for opening the database. So the other method that I want to write is one to close it. Now all we need to do is type public, and we don't want to return anything here, so void, call it close, and then we can just open the brackets. So all we need to do now is database helper, and it'll be dot close. Okay, so clearly we need to open the database before we close it, or this is going to throw an error because we need to define this database helper. So hopefully that's a little bit clearer as to what we're doing. We'll start to use these methods in the next tutorial and actually test the database. So hope to catch you in the next one. Bye for now.